Good morning. Today we're going to talk a little bit about kerf width. And we're going to make some adjustments to showcase differences in kerf width in order to not lose specific small pieces that we may have thought were going to be retained when we were initially cutting, but end up being burnt out because of some of the overburn that occurs when working with plasma. And we can compensate for that here in SheetCam. Right now I have a piece. This is a lion face that's going to be chopped out of this wonderful circle. We're going to be cutting this on 16 gauge mild steel today, and I'm going to use a 16 gauge simulator here in this program. We're going to go ahead and put an operation on here. We're going to go Operation Plasma Cut, and I have my 16 gauge simulator here, and if I were to hit OK right now, let's take a look. The green line simulates the width of the blade, and we can see here that there are some details that are going to be lost in this design. And you know what, looking at that, this is telling us that the plasma cutter blade is too thick to reach down into the bottom of that line, which is important to note. But let's say that we wanted to, or we found that when we cut this we lost even more clarity, or we are running into further issues cutting this particular piece out. Let's say that we don't have any real tight pieces here, but let's say, for instance, that these two somehow overlapped at this point. There's enough heat buildup, something happened, and they were just blending. One way to compensate for that would be to go to our operations, and when we initially make our operation here, we can click this 3-dot pattern under the side of Tools, and I can select the size of my kerf width, so I can actually increase it by a measurable distance, 0.068. So I have 0.002 of an inch of difference in my kerf, which is going to make an impact when I'm cutting. You may not realize it, but it does adjust the cut. So let's take a look here. We hit OK, and if you noticed, and if you didn't see it, go back and watch when I hit OK. The width of this line actually increased slightly because, of course, I'm adjusting the simulated kerf width, and so it's moving that blade slightly further into or outside of the drawing or the shape here in order to make sure that the plasma cutter doesn't overburn or cut too far into one way or another. So if you want to adjust your kerf width, make sure you hit the 3 dots here, or you can change it permanently in your tool set. I'll go over that in 1 second here, but we can change our tool set here, our kerf width, we hit OK, and then it's adjusted in the program. We hit OK, File, Run Post Processor, and we've adjusted our kerf width. And again, by doing it permanently on the tool set, I can just double click on my 16 gauge plasma tool and show that it's been adjusted here, or make my 0.072 adjustment and hit OK, and that will showcase the differences in how to set up your kerf width. Run these, make a couple test cuts. You can also come in with a measurement tool and get an exact reading for the kerf width by using that measurement tool. Also an easy way to measure that. So take those two into consideration, and we will move on from there.